Hi, guys,
Hi guys.
and welcome to
Welcome back to another episode of The Time Is Now.
With.
Your hosts Batia and Rukama. Your host Batia and Rukama Goldston.
Well,
All right, y'all. So today in this episode, we're going to be talking about safe spaces. What are they? Do we have them? Do you have them? How do we cultivate them within ourselves? And the music is for special effects. All
the
right,
music
y'all.
is actually in honor of Grammy.
Hey.
We got something that, Grammy always had all this little knickknacks.
Mm-hmm.
And Grammy is my mother's mother. And she just always had, you can find everything in Grammy stuff. So this is like a little reminder that she's with me.
Hey.
And yeah, she maintains a safe place for being, my grandmother, Bati's great grandmother, my Ima's mother. Just honoring her today. All right.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna start as we do. This has some longevity on it, man. You could really. That's nice as it goes off. All right. Let's see.
All right. This is corny.
What is it?
It's so corny, I'm not going to do it.
That's because.
But maybe I'll do it along the way, talking about a safe place. All right. You going first or I'm going first?
I can go first.
Okay.
All right. So both players share something they're most grateful for in this current moment. Ooh, so much to think about. So much to be grateful for. But today I would say I'm grateful for the automatic clock that exists in your body because, man, I be planning to wake up for stuff. I had to get my infusion, some medication for my Crohn's today, and I did not set a timer or anything, and I had to leave out by like 6:30. I didn't set a timer, I didn't set anything, and I just happened to wake up. I was like, "Ooh, okay." So I'm grateful. I was grateful for that because I'm like, man, I didn't miss stuff, but today it worked out.
And what am I grateful for? If I keep it raw, I'm very grateful for a change in my energy today.
Yeah.
Because I just woke up with so much anger today. Like everything, I didn't have no gratitude. I do my gratitude prayer as soon as I wake up. And I just couldn't, the morning was just like, what the smoke? And I sat with myself and I processed and, I just went in. I had like 2 hours just by myself, just going in and coming full circle. And I created a beautiful writing, beautiful prayer from it. So I'm grateful for the ability to shift my energy.
Yeah.
And to create something from the place of anger that I was
Wow.
sitting there when I woke up.
Hey.
Yeah. So when y'all read my next book, I'm probably going to put a little description that this was the morning. Oh,
All right.
boy.
Oh, and now your turn.
And now my turn. Okay, so the one I said, just because I don't like to skip cards, the one that I chose, I said is corny, and maybe it's going to be a benefit to somebody, so we'll do both, is close your eyes. What color is my shirt?
I wonder what color it could be. Is it yellow?
I think you're right. So have a little fun and make sure, even if you get something that's corny, you do it as well. What question are you most afraid to answer?
Oh, what the heck?
Oh.
What question are you most afraid to answer? Maybe right now, the question that I'm not I don't know if it's most afraid to answer, but this is the question that's been coming up. And ironically, the way life just land you to where you're supposed to be, maybe Girl, what was the question again? I got lost.
What question are you most afraid to answer?
Oh, how would my life look if I could genuinely be completely vulnerable with like everybody? Anybody, everybody.
Wow.
Right?
That's interesting.
And I was, oh, my bad.
Go ahead.
No, because I've been, for the past like, probably 3-4 years, this book is called Intimacy by Oshu. And it's been coming up in my, like, I've seen it. I wanted to get it. They didn't ship to Israel. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, it's just like, maybe I didn't really want to pick it up. Maybe, maybe it wasn't time. So I just looked for it today again. And that's where that question really arose from right now. I'm like, and I just found like an online version. I had never seen or anything before. I just found like an online copy of it, and I started reading it, and I literally only read the foreword, and it was like so thought provoking. So it just left me in a space of like,
oh, sure,
openness. Oh, I love it.
That just warmed my heart because he was my guy, and I didn't somehow gave you my guy.
Yeah,
he's not really my guy, but So, okay, being completely vulnerable wherever you are. Wow. The key to authenticity is to be vulnerable wherever you are.
Yeah.
It's so interconnected and interrelated.
And just true, honest expression.
Yeah.
And what could you possibly lose? What could you, what?
That's what I live in.
Hey.
So that's your fear, but that's my strength.
Hey.
I'm always like, I have no problem being vulnerable. Any place. They say certain places that you shouldn't be vulnerable at. So I wouldn't say it would be vulnerability. It would be living my truth or being honest, which is the same thing to me.
Yeah.
But you should make sure that the audience that you are present with, that you are actually in tune with your audience.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, safe places.
Safe places, safe spaces. What are they? Where do you feel safe? Do you feel safe?
Have you ever felt safe?
Do you know what safety feels like? Can you describe it? Could you describe it to a stranger? What does feeling safe feel like for you? But
wow.
So safe spaces are gonna be like spaces, whether it's within a community, within a friendship, within like a one-on-one relationship, within a larger, broader group, online, in person, outside, maybe even just a space, a physical place, a physical something that you feel safe in, that you feel comfortable in, that you can openly share and express without a feeling that maybe that you're going to be judged or harassed or made to feel any kind of way. A place where your honest expression is accepted and valued, even within that space.
You're able to be vulnerable.
You're able to be vulnerable, yeah. But even with my question is how could I do this with everybody? Because I know, I find within myself, there's definitely people that I feel overly safe with. I'm just telling you anything, man. Whoa. And then there's other spaces where maybe I would want to be, but I can't. It's some kind of internal barrier, maybe. And then with putting out this book that I'm putting out, it's actually very vulnerable. It's actually very intimate. It's actually very, could feel very personal. So that was another part of my thought. I'm like, wow, to be able to put this out. It's not out yet, y'all. But, I'm working on that question. I'll get back to the book. But, so it's just a part of a whole broader, conversation. But where are those spaces? How do they look? What does that arise in you? Do you have a space that you feel safe in?
I have a lot of safe places.
Hey.
I have physical places that are safe places. Like my home feel very safe. Just to walk into it, to be present in it, any part of it, any room of it, it always feels just like I'm home, I'm settled, I'm safe. And I would say Corsage is a safe place as a friend.
Yeah.
Very safe. It doesn't matter what life is and how it is. She's always very safe for me. Always makes me feel just like I could crumble to the lowest common denominator, or I could be as strong as the highest mountain.
Yeah.
you know?
Wow. That's so powerful.
Yeah.
Hey.
Shout out to you, Kesset. Love you. Safe places. I would say, as a professional, my job is a safe place.
Yeah.
The physical place and the people I work with, especially Moran. She's very safe. We've been knowing each other for a long time, and she is very safe for me.
Mm-hmm.
I can be completely anything I choose to be. I don't have to pretend. I don't have to hide. I don't have to come up with nothing because
Yeah.
she's the boss. Like, I can just be who I am. And I would say Svetlana, my coworker, she's very, very safe. Oh my gosh, she holds so much wonderful space for me. Like, oh, you're a safe place,
Hey.
right? Wow, so that's very, very interesting, because I started off saying I have so many safe
yeah.
places. And I really do. If I keep going, I can keep going to places that feel safe and why they feel safe for me. And circumstances of safetyness. Like when I go to the community, I feel very safe.
Yeah.
Because that's my community. That's where I
Yeah.
belong. That's where I grew up at. So any place I go, anywhere in the community I travel through, I always feel safe.
Yeah.
That's like my stomping grounds, you know? And then when I'm on an airplane, it's safe for me. When I get on the bus, it's safe
Yeah.
for me. It doesn't matter who the people are, because I'm always finding safety wherever I go. I'm
And then I wonder if it's, the safety that you feel within
Pretty
yourself.
much.
How safe you are with yourself, and how much of a safe space, how much are you allowed to be open and honest and vulnerable with yourself without judgment and without...
Oh, man. Yeah, I hold some big space for myself. I wear big girl panties all the time for me. That's why I could get up here and tell you that I woke up and I was in this anger and I was trying to figure out what to smoke, and because I could allow myself
Yeah.
to be there without the judgment of trying to ignore it or talk it away
Yeah.
or judge it. I'm just present for it. And then it's like, okay, well, what did you come to tell me? In the end, it's like, what's right about this that I'm not getting?
Yeah.
Like, and it was
What's
something
right about this that I'm not getting? Wow.
right?
Fair.
And it was really something right about it that I wasn't getting, because it came to give me a gift.
Yeah.
But if I would have just looked at it as, oh my God, and stayed in it, maybe it'll be something different. But it seems to always be a gift for me. And yeah, I'm very safe with me.
Yeah.
So I show up in the world as safe.
Yeah.
But there are places that I feel very unsafe in.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a difference. There are people who are considered friends that I don't feel safe to express the depths of who I am with them, because I just don't feel like it's fair to them. They can't hold that space.
Yeah.
They've shown me over and over again that this friendship is about what I can do for them. So I hold that space for them, but it's not mutual.
Mm-hmm.
Or like being a part of a support group, because what I can offer, what am I getting?
Mm-hmm.
And am I really, really safe in totality to give and receive freely
Yeah.
in certain places? That always is interesting for me.
Yeah. And I think, I wonder, right? Because I just had this thought in myself. If you're in a space where you're not able to receive freely, are you really able to give freely?
Right.
If giving and receiving are two sides of the same, coin.
Mm-hmm. The figure 8,
Yeah.
always. And everything in life is about giving and receiving. And what make me say, because I'm going to focus on me, what make me say that I'm not safe in this particular group or that particular group?
Yeah.
Like, what is it?
What is brushing up
What's-
against me? What's rubbing up against me that's causing me to feel unsafe, especially if you have a general sense of safety
Right.
within all these other spaces.
Maybe expectation.
Mm-hmm.
That somebody has an expectation of how I'm supposed to behave or what I'm supposed to say or what I'm supposed to do. And so therefore, I'm not going to fully show up because
You don't feel the space.
I don't feel the space, because if there's an expectation, if I've been invited to something with an expectation. I didn't get the invitation that everybody got, that we creating a support group. I got an invitation with an expectation.
Yeah.
So maybe that was something I picked up that I need to work out, because that don't have nothing to do with nobody else.
It's a perceived expectation.
Of course it's perceived. I mean, everything is perception in the end anyway, which I'm going to do some work around that. Wonderful. Now for you, what is safe for you? What's a safe place or safe places?
I think throughout my life, that concept has like evolved. Like when I look back on it, because I think in different stages of life, the amount and the level of safetyness that you need or expect can be very different. And I think like earlier in my life, generally, like just in the earlier years of my life, I don't know how much I had a foundation that would have expected safety as a, as the norm.
Okay.
And I think I grew to find spaces and people. I think a really good place that held a lot of space for me, and it's so oh my God, it's so incredible to say it now, how you grow up and like perceptions really change, and sometimes somebody could really see the bigger picture, man. Because I would go to my gifted program, to Mechunani, and I would just, oh my God, y'all, I would not want to go. I would cry. I would like, please don't make me go. I don't want to go. Mind you, I would go and it would be fine. Like, I had friends. I would enjoy myself. I really liked the classes. But I think maybe it was the pressure. I was probably like the only black girl there. I don't think I've ever been in a space. If I really think about it, I don't think I've really been in spaces up until that point in my life, because I was in 3rd grade and I came from like a communal school. Everybody, of course we lived around, in neighborhoods, and we live in a country, but my whole immediate network of people were all like black people. So then like being in this space suddenly and being the only one, I think it had a level that maybe made the place feel less safe for me in that physical moment, because maybe that was what I could see. But when I can look back in my mind, or just all of the tools that it gave me in a real way, it held so much big, huge, safe space for me to show up, and to think the way I think, at the depth and at the level that I think, in a way and in a room where it is accepted and also met. Because I think like it can be accepted, but it's not necessarily reciprocated. It's like I don't know, it's different in the mutuality of it. So that was like a big physical sort of space, I think, that held a lot of big space for me that I don't think I realized. It's something I can see in hindsight how impacting it is.
So parents, this is going to be a shout out to you. Y'all see this chick at 22 telling me this?
Oh my God, and y'all, it was serious. I was serious. I wasn't joking at all. I did not want to go.
At 12, when the summer came in,
because I was going up to the next, like to the next one. It was in Beersheba. I just couldn't. It was just so much.
She begged me, pleaded with me. That was your 2nd year in Beersheba, actually.
Oh man,
so she went for a year, and she was just like, please don't make me go. Please, I beg you. I would do anything. Do not make me go. And I was so torn in myself, because I never believed in like forcing my children. Yeah. This was an extra program. She was gifted. She had passed all the tests, and this was her one day a week to be with like-minded people, with teachers who taught them all day, who were also in this program, who had matriculated through this program. And I just felt like it was something that had gifted her so much already. Why would she not go? Yeah. And I was so torn. Like, should I listen to her voice tell me not to? She doesn't want to, begging me not to. Or should I kind of put my parent hat on and say, you're going? And I remember we stayed up all night. It seemed like she just cried the night before. And I was like, oh, this feels so wrong. But
I know
it
that
feels
probably
so
crazy.
But it felt so right. God. It felt so wrong, but it felt so right. So when we woke up in the morning, I said, okay, this is what I've decided. Go today. If you come back today and you really don't want to be there, you don't have to keep going.
Yeah.
And she went, and when she got on break, she called me. And she said, Ima, I'm so glad you made me go. I'm so glad you made me go. Now, I'm on pins and needles the entire day. Thinking, like, oh, my God, was that
Yeah.
the best choice for her development? I
Yeah.
knew for myself, in hindsight, I could see beyond where she was seeing, and I knew it was probably just fear stopping her. I didn't know what the fear was. I didn't know if something happened and she wasn't able to tell me. And
Yeah.
it was just so many thoughts running through my mind. But that day was a day that I was like, whatever my children are doing, whatever they really, really love doing, I'm going to push them a little bit further when they decide they want to stop. And I'm going to give them the option to try. Trying is lying. I don't even know how I just used that word. To go do it. And if you take the step and you actually spend the day wherever you're supposed to spend it, sometimes it takes 3 days, sometimes it takes a week.
Yeah.
But when you allow yourself to be present for whatever that assignment is, you get to decide whether or not you want to or
Yeah.
not. So I like to take it and put it into action. And that's in my own
And
personal life too.
it's putting a ball back in my
Right.
hand of, if I didn't want to go,
Right.
then that you would respect that decision. And I think about right now, I just thought about, I must have felt very safe with you even to have that breakdown, to really express in that way. And how, because I saw a video today and it was saying, when you were a kid, who did you go to when you were upset? Or if you were afraid, who did you go to? Who did you feel like? Because for some people, it can be parents. For some people, it can be older siblings. For some people, it could be cousins. For some people, it may have been, you may have felt like there was nobody. So these sort of templates that we pick up in early life and in childhood, they have a way of, continuing on with us if we don't interrupt them and look at them and examine them, if they're not personally working, anymore. So it's interesting, like, if you can ask that question, if you can ask yourself that question and then see maybe how does that track till today.
Mm-hmm. And I always say that people who have emotional outbursts on you, if somebody come and they really, really emotional and they let themselves go, even if they blaming you or they arguing with you, they're safe enough to do that.
Yeah.
You have to have a level of trust in order
safety
to do
to
that.
argue, to fight, to argue, you definitely have to have a level of safety.
Safety has a lot to do with trust too.
Yeah.
A lot of people say they have trusting issues, but you feel comfortable in the person's presence that you say you don't trust.
Yeah.
And if you feel comfortable enough to be in their presence and to truly show up, even if it's parts of you, then there's some level of trust there.
Yeah.
So also just see where your trusting levels are, because vulnerability has to do with trust too. And do you trust yourself? Ultimately, the real job is the inside job.
Yeah.
The external job is great. I can sit in somebody else's company and I can participate or not participate or doubt myself or judge myself, criticize, or love myself and say, worst case scenario, I'm going to make a fool of myself.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario,
yeah.
somebody's going to laugh at me. Worst case scenario, I'm going to be incredible. And worst case scenario, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I always remind myself it's literally just an experience.
It's interesting because that's something that like I picked up definitely from you, and it's such a great way to just disassemble, take apart fear when you just ask the question of, what do I believe this thing could do to me? Okay, so you fail, and then what? What is going to happen? How do you feel? Like, you're just breaking it down to that, and then, so if I fail, then then what? Okay, so what if that, and what if that, and what if that, and what if that? And it's like it can kind of bring you down and ground you into getting a more distilled, clear view of what you're actually afraid of, or what you actually might be coming up against.
And it could put you on a wall where you stop. Because I've played the what if game all the way through with people. And sometimes people get so incredibly frustrated at one spot. and you get stuck in that spot. Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. I don't want to do this no more. And then if I say, well, what if I leave you alone? Then I'll be, and what if we would be? And it give you a moment to have a crash out.
Yeah.
And then kind of like gather yourself again. I love that technique because it keep processing. And in the end, it really, 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 really just boils down to, I'm afraid that somebody's going to laugh at me, or somebody's going to judge me, or somebody's not going to receive me.
Yeah.
Humans love connection.
Humans need connection.
So safety is it's one of the
it's a genuine human need. And I think that that often goes like misunderstood or misunderstood, of like some kind of accessory, some kind of add-on, when it is really integral to human life. You know how they say like the children, human children are not the only ones, but they're like some of the only mammals that cannot survive without their parents in early life. Like, a lot of animals, their parents have them in dip. Man, they be having them babies and out, on to the next.
Right, you can find an abandoned cat.
And they continue, living. But how long does a genuinely abandoned child,
wow,
no connection and recover? So maybe even, I just thought about that right now, because then you have, the pyramid of safety, and it's like basic needs. It's the whole, I don't even know. But I just thought about
it's Abraham Maslow's theory.
Hey.
What's on the baseline that you're trying to say?
What? Basic needs?
The need to sleep, to eat, to breathe, to eliminate, home, shelter. The basic needs.
Yeah.
And you can take that on the emotional roller coaster, an attachment roller coaster, or any roller coaster you need. And that baseline, according to Abraham Maslow, needs to be met before you can go to the next one, which is connection and love. Like it keeps traveling up.
Yeah.
But
wow. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, because if you're in a dynamic and you're a parent, and your main goal and your main struggle is even putting food on the table, survival, and keeping the lights on, and just that basic day-to-day survival, month-to-month, week-to-week survivor, how in tune can you really, do you have the capacity in the space to even be in tune emotionally with a child? Like,
that's one. Now multiply that by all of your children.
Yeah.
How much do you really have to give? And if you are in survival mode and always in basic needs, and where's the safety net there?
Yeah.
Is the safety net only basic needs? I can provide for you a roof over your head, food in your mouth, and a bath maybe.
Yeah.
But where is the cuddling, the touching, the loving? Because if I'm in survival, sometimes though, I'm not going to live in anybody.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's been
deep, hardcore survival, and they can still maintain. They can be on the second level or even a third level, because something is built inside of them. So I don't. It's all circular for me.
Yeah.
And you can find everything everywhere. I don't never like to put nothing black and white, and that's just the way it is. It is not.
It's not.
I found people who grew up in the most incredible circumstances and situations be very touchy and very loving, and they were survivors for a very long time. And as soon as they were able to get mentally out of the survival state, because I'm in survival state and I barely have my basic needs met, and I'm struggling with finances to keep the lights on, I can still reach into myself and begin to do my own healing work. So what you see on the outside is not necessarily what you get on the inside. Exactly. And I don't ever think that I know somebody based on where I assume they are.
Yeah. And where did you meet them? You never know. Like, I think somebody that met me today, they couldn't possibly in life, you couldn't imagine my life. Right. If you were just standing in front of me and you just were speculating based on how I present, based on the assumptions that you can make about me. You may pick up some things, but there's so many huge aspects and so many huge elements that you don't even know about. Interesting. how like the conversation about safety just automatically kind of gravitate towards survival,
Right.
and how
much safety you really have and how much you're in survival mode or beyond.
yeah,
Because we're not in survival mode, right?
yeah,
But when I was raising y'all, I was in a lot of survival mode. So I wasn't present. I wasn't available. So anything that y'all come and tell me today, I'm never in no
Yeah.
arguments about it. I'm intrigued. Like, tell me about that girl.
yeah.
What was she
She
doing?
ain't nowhere like, I guess I'm just a bad
Oh
Ema.
no. I went through that though. I had my moments of feeling like I need to overgive.
Overcompensate for
Overcompensate for the things I
I can
missed.
see that. I can see that.
And then, as time went along, I realized that I can't make up yesterday, even if I tried. And I think what helped me understand that was my father, which was interesting because every time I saw my father or every time my father spoke to me, he always wanted to give me money. And he always said, because he didn't pay child support.
Oh wow.
And I always said, but you can't, child support was going to
Yeah.
go to my mom to help raise me. You don't owe, there's no debt here. I'm so indebted to him for allowing me to come through him and his DNA and be the person I choose for a father. With all of the complications that came along with that relationship, I'm still so grateful to him, to my grandparents, to my favorite safe place in the whole probably world as a sibling with Rashay. Like
Yeah.
he hold a lot of safetyness for me as a sibling.
Yeah.
So just, grateful for that. But the overcompensation for something that you feel that you missed or didn't do. Yeah, I learned that from Dad, to stop with y'all.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you learn through other people's I learned through other people's behavior what not
Where
to
you can-
continue
yeah.
to do and to let it go, to free myself, because as long as I need to do that, I'm holding myself captive. I'm guilty
Yeah.
of something, and I gave the best I had. I did the best I have, even if it's uncomfortable, even if y'all don't want to hear that, even if y'all want me to cry and tell
Yeah.
y'all and explain and let y'all. I did the best I could do. I did the best I knew
Yeah.
how to do. I'm not telling you that your process is not
Yeah, what it
warranted
is.
for the healing process it needs, and anything you need to come and say and do with or through me, or if I need to go to therapy with you, or if I
said
pay for your therapy, whatever it is need to happen, I'm in for it. But I'm not going to carry the guilt
Yeah.
or the feeling like I could have did better. I did the best I knew how to do. I was sitting in the best seat I knew how to sit in, and I was where I was supposed to be, and the journey was as it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And so it's like, once you get there, once you experience so many stories with your children coming one after the next telling you, and it's funny to them. They laugh and telling me
we
these stories,
cracking up
and it's
because
not
to us
funny
it's
to
like
me.
this is memories. We like,
Yeah.
oh, remember that time?
And
You
it
know?
it wasn't light for me. It wasn't funny. It was like, oh my God, who was I? I was just so hard and so mean and so hateful, and it's like not who I am on
Yeah,
no
on
level.
no level.
Like I'm
It's
so
so interesting.
gentle and so compassionate and so soft, but raising my children, because I just didn't know better. I didn't have the skill set to understand that they were just little bitty
Little bit. I'm
people,
just a baby.
people who needed so much safetyness. But I obviously didn't
Yeah.
have safetyness in
Yeah.
myself, so I couldn't give what I didn't have.
Yeah.
And as I gained safetyness, then I was able to give
To
safetyness.
extend it, yeah. I just thought about how, like, when I see kids, and maybe because I'm so in tune with myself in that way, and I was able to recognize that within myself, I see a kid, and you look at kids and you see how much they genuinely need, how much one kid, one child, a single one child, and how often, and this is not from a place of any type of judgment, and I'm not a parent in any kind of way, so it's not that, but I'm you see situations, and I'm watching marks being missed, not because the parents, not because I don't even think that you understand the impact that this is having on your child. But that takes seeing the impact that life has had on you. And that takes being able to see, like, the things that affected you. Because when you're able to see that, it's like you can so easily see how that moment of misattunement sort of reads in a child's brain as an understanding about life and an understanding about the world around them and an understanding about their level of safety and how loved they are and how cared for they are. And yeah.
I love that you go around the city, take these walks,
Yeah.
just to interact with children. I think that's such a wonderful act of service and prayer. And you don't have to be a parent to see what you're seeing because you're closer to the children's age
Yeah.
than I would be. So when you see them, you're seeing them from the lenses of when you was 10 or when you was 7. And when I see them, I'm seeing them from that's such and such child.
Yeah.
And how can I help the mother? So we see it from different
Yeah.
lenses. So your
And then you hear
perspective is
kids
always
talk.
important.
You hear kids talk and they have genuine conversations. I think like one of the things that not bothers me the most, but it definitely like hits a point in my, and this is why I will always slow down. If I can, I will always slow down and have a conversation with kids because with children, because their internal world is important. And somebody, I think often you grow up and this is what creates these feelings of unsafetyness when you feel like your internal world is not important and it's not valued. And maybe it's that little stuff that you do. And I think the way we can sort of dismiss children as full human beings, as much as we can see them as full, like they're kids, they're full children, they're full human beings. It's like they have a full internal world of feeling, and often it just goes missed. But it's like when I look at it, it's so hard not to miss the mark. You have to be so in tune. I think it takes so much if you yourself have a fractured perception of yourself even. But yeah, it's so interesting. So I always try to slow down, have conversations with kids, and I talk to them on their level about what is interesting and important to them, and I play with them on their level with the things that are fun for them and that are cool to them and that make sense to them. And I think it's so important. I think in my own life, people have slowed down to do that with me. So I think I'm able to offer it from that point. But I also know the spaces in which like I did feel like a lot of my internal world was insignificant to the world that was around me and irrelevant. And so how do I learn to value my own vulnerability and my own intimacy with myself if it's not mirrored, if it's not matched, if it's not met, if my internal processing is like registered as just dramatic. It's just a lot. It's just, yeah, you'll figure that out. But I don't, like, I'm a kid. So when you talk, it's just communication, language.
And teenagers too.
Yeah.
Teenagers too. How often do we stop and listen to them to what seems so important to them? Yeah, as an adult at 52, I know that thing she's telling me about, babe, keep living. As Mahi might say, keep living, It's going to switch so many times, but it's so important to them in that moment. And if we are too busy or too structured in our minds to say, oh, that's going to pass, to not listen to them, then where do they go? They just talk to each other. And I talked to my friends when I was a teenager, and what did we know? I think I was probably the leader of the group. What did I know? Nothing. And what did they know? Nothing. But we loved one another because we listened to one another, because we heard each other. And I think if I think about that, Yadina, she always heard me. Like, I could go to her pretty much and feel so safe. My wasn't here. And I just made myself a part of their family, And I don't know if it was because Amitai was there, but she always made me feel safe, and she always made me feel seen. And even to this day, I'll write something and send it to her just because, she was one of the first people who just was like, you good.
Yeah.
I see you.
Yeah.
You're doing an incredible job, And as an auntie, that's important.
That's so important.
I'm an adult. I'm grown, but that's still important for me now. It was important for me yesterday to send a song to my mom and for her to say, wow, that sounds just like you. That captured you. It's so beautiful and profound. Like, a lot of safetyness come from being received,
Yeah.
being allowed to be
Being
who you
allowed
are.
to be who you are. Yeah.
And where are you allowed to be who you are?
Yeah.
With
With
whom?
whom?
More than safety, with whom are you allowed to be who you are?
Yeah.
And
Wow. I think about how often, and I think maybe just because my interests have been far and vast and wide, I find it in a lot of different people on certain elements. So maybe like there's one space that this is like the space that I can do this and show up that way, and this is the space that I can show up that way. And it's not because I'm, switching and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna act like I just genuinely enjoy so many things. So my ability to connect with a lot of people on little pieces of world and life has been really amazing. And I also think like in my own real personal life, rarely have there been spaces that I feel like I can show up like fully me. Fully me.
wow.
And my family, of course, because y'all have just seen me in any possible state and condition. So it would just be,
I think that's the beauty of family.
Yeah, right.
And that's the beauty of belonging. Because to be safe means that you belong somewhere. And
Yep.
to wake up in the morning, your hair stand on top of your head and your breath stank, and you and your one of your family members' face, and they like, girl, could you please? And you like, what? I'm still gonna blow my breath in your face,
Yeah.
I think that to establish that, to create that, to have those dynamics, that me and my husband was able to create that with some children is like one of the greatest gifts I can say of safetyness, because I didn't grow up with that. I grew up, I was the baby to my mom. I was my father's oldest. My mom left and moved to Israel when I was 9 months. I didn't grow up with my father. I grew up in a community. My mom went away when I was 12, came back when I was 17. I lived in all the community houses. So that feeling of safetyness, stability, and being in a family unit, it was at the crucial ages. 12 is crucial, and before then, we was in plural marriage, which was absolutely beautiful. I knew where my family was. I knew it felt safe. Maslow's law, even though we was in hardcore times, for me, my childhood was beautiful. I didn't know I was impoverished. My parents made sure we had everything we need. So my kids start telling me they feel poor. I'm like, woo, in hindsight, if y'all really, yes, she said we was poor.
We was poor. But when I compared to her, we didn't touch poverty.
So poverty ain't got no comparisons. But what I will say is, find the places that you rich in, because I swear poverty can bring you into some richness that you never ever could have
imagined. That is also
what can you do?
Very, very true.
What can you do from the world of nothing?
Yeah. Everything is possible.
Every
possibility is wow.
Solution oriented, compassion. I mean, there's a lot that can be created when you feel like you have nothing, and when you feel like you really, really have nothing but some onion peels in the left in the bin. Get those onion peels and go paint with them, scrub them up, and create something, art or music. So if y'all want to know where my creativity and flexibility come from, this place I grew up in, this world I come from, they did that. Our parents, I salute y'all. Because I look at my life when I think that I'm crumbling on something, I'll be like, they didn't have nothing. They didn't know when the next nothing was coming. There was no safety net to know. My father went to work. My stepdad went to work. He could work the whole month and and won't get paid. He a whole man, worked the whole month. He had to come back to all of us children in the house, to both my moms, and like, you just didn't get paid. Like, I salute these people, how they did this and they stayed in this country. Yeah. Who am I to have anything but gratitude and respect for every single one of y'all? Yeah. So if you're watching this, know that I love you, I honor you, I respect you. I'm a mother now. I have my own family, and thank you for building the kingdom inside of me.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't the external things. It was what they placed inside of
Yeah.
us.
A resilience. I think it's a
Yeah.
resilience that
Woo.
is unmatched and unmet.
So Toda to Abagadol and to me,
Hey.
for creating a safety that's called Israel. For me to be in Israel and
Yeah.
feel safe. Like,
Yeah.
I know it's a war. Like, I'm not in delusional or not in sync with what's going on. But this is the safest war zone I have ever been in. I don't think I've ever been in other war zones. But when I go to America, it feels like a war zone for me. But it just ain't for real. Like, y'all don't, y'all don't catch it the same way. But it's just so wonderful to belong here to this
Yeah.
country, to the people around me, to know the language, to speak the language, to have went to
Yeah.
college here. Okay, so we didn't, educational wise, there wasn't no safety net. Our parents taught us, so we got what they have to give us, and they gave us the best that they had. That's why I'm so grateful to them. And then if you're able to go out and gather some more from the nothing place that they had to work from,
Yeah.
that's just a bigger testimony to what they
Yeah.
was able to put inside of you. So I live every day in safetyness of knowing that there are those who have paved the way before me,
Wow.
who what they have for safety net was faith,
Wow.
was
Yeah.
courage, was a knowing.
Yeah.
And my Ima, she a boss. I know that wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Like, I know in her internal organs that wasn't easy, but she had to create the safety net for me to feel safe today.
Yeah.
Even though I did a lot of crazy stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that went along with that. I always want to give them their roses as well.
Yeah.
Because they did the best they could. Like, I did the best I could. Like, you're going to do the best you can. Your kid's going to have a list against you.
Yeah.
Everybody going to have a list of things that you could have did better. Do your best. Parents,
Do your best. Yeah.
be grateful for who you are. Give it your best every single day. Children, do your best. I know your parents doing their very best. All the list of judgments you have against them, I promise you're going to have children one day. And your children going to have
She
similar
loves that.
things.
I can't wait till y'all
I'm
have
looking
kids.
forward.
I can't wait.
I'm going to go right to their house.
Keep waiting.
When they keep waiting. God, you may the good Lord bless this child's womb and all my children to have at least 4 or 5,
kids.
right? I'm looking forward to being a grandmother
Hey.
because, I done cleaned up so many things. I'm going to be such a different grandmother than I was as a mother. But, that's they say
Yeah.
grandmothers are anyway. So that's the gift. So I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, about safetyness. To you, that's you got something else you want to say to wrap up before we get this card to these people?
Safe, safe, safe. I'm safe here. I'm safe with me. That's the most important. I think I can say, like, I can track a journey from living in Israel. I've been here for about 4 years. And my first year, I probably felt so fundamentally unsafe, maybe more than I had in my, I'm not going to say more than I had. No, probably more than I had in my whole life. Being here and being in a way by myself, as much as, people are there for you and people want to support you. But I think even in my own ability to accept that support and to be able to really see it as that, it limited my ability to experience it. And I think about now, and even just physical safety, I was very reactive. I think I lived in a constant state of fight or flight. And I saw that, like, I had started reading about it. I started learning. I'm like, wait, this sounded like me. Wait. This is very much me. So I think the process of these 4 years and, like, the place that I'm in with myself now is just so incredible because I feel so safe with myself. And because I feel so safe with myself, I feel so safe to extend that to other people. And I feel safe with other people, like, in my life. Yeah. Even like last night. look, man, it was last night. That was just another, that probably the anger, everything, kind of coincided and relaxed into it. But so last night, I'd gotten a physical sensation of, like, being very overstimulated, and I haven't felt that way physically in a long time. You get mentally, like, your thoughts swirling, but I just and I know how to manage that, and I know how to, I have, but the physical sensation, it caught me so off guard. And I've been talking about somatic exercises all day. I guess that was supposed to be a sign for me, to engage in them. But it was just like a lot of heavy energy in the day for me. And now it was through work. It was at home, and then it was through work, and then it was like back at home again, and then I went back outside, and it was out. I'm like, oh wow, like I just was feeling really overwhelmed, and I really had to take like a moment to myself to ground myself. I went up, laid in the grass. It was so like, I'm like, man.
She started off there saying it probably was heavy because we was actually together.
Oh my God, yo.
And like, I stopped my life to go walk with my daughter where she was going so I could spend a little bit of time with her.
I know.
And we was in it felt like a good flow for me. And then she looked at me and was like, can you just go?
And I'm like, I said it like that.
I'm like, what's going on?
Wait, I'm like,
what's going on? You need space? She was like, yes. I was like, okay. So I walked. I was like, I'm going to go see my sisters. And then she walked behind me. And I turned around and said, well, why are you walking this way? And then it was almost like, just keep walking. But, so I just kept walking. And went on to see my friends. But I understand her. She needs this. I understand her process and what she needs. And it's, who am I to crowd in somebody's space when they understand themselves and they tell you they need it. It wasn't nothing personal.
Yeah.
And it really, to be honest with you, I don't think that the anger showed up from there. That didn't show up this morning in my process, just so you'll be clear. In case you holding anything with that.
Oh, I can release that?
Yeah, you can let that go. It was a whole lot of other things, like not taking time to attend to the house.
Yeah.
Not slowing down enough to take care of my own basic needs, because so much stuff has happened in the last month that it just felt like I was on the hamster's wheel.
Yeah.
And life just kept going. So I guess today was my day for it to crash in on me.
Yeah.
And I just give thanks. It's a slow day. It's a shishi. It's a Friday. So it's no work. I'm not responsible for nothing. I usually volunteer at the school today, but this day last day of school. And I was clear that the teacher was not going to want me to come because they probably having school activities. So I just settled in, and people waiting for me to come and do things and have an appointment. And that's fine. I'm going to get to that when I get finished doing what I'm doing, because I needed to slow down, take a moment, general clean my front room, wash my shutters down, bring in some light inside my home. So sometimes the grounding for me is to do some physical cleaning and to restore my environment, because I love a clean environment, y'all. For real, for real. So, yeah. Anyway.
On that note, I just wanted to say I was genuinely so physically overstimulated in a way that I probably haven't been in a very, very long time.
Right.
Like, it just felt so intense so suddenly. And it wasn't suddenly, it was just like the cues along the way that maybe I was disregarding, or the idea in my mind of like, okay, I'm going to one space to do 1, 2, and 3 because I know I already feel overstimulated, because I know I already feel this way. And so like when it just went elsewhere, it was just like so much for me on a plate that was already so full. And I'm like, I had to be by myself right now.
But that's good that you know to lay in the grass.
Yeah.
And you know to ground yourself, and you know to be by yourself.
And it was like from the moment that I had left you, I sat down, I did some breathing exercises, and I'm sitting there thinking in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm really out here doing breathing exercises. It's that serious to me right now. But I was so happy that I knew that this is something that's going to regulate me. Then I went up, I laid physically in the grass. I'm like, let me ground. First I had my shoes on. I'm like, let me lay in the grass. Let me look at the stars. Let me breathe. I started doing some genuine like somatic nervous system regulation stuff, and it calmed me down in like, it was like 5 minutes, and I was back to like a very good center. So
internal safetyness. So you felt unsafe with yourself, and then you was able to bring yourself back to safetyness because you have tools.
Because I have tools. I mean, and it was quick, and it was quicker probably than it's ever been, of like that could have been a really big spiral for me of just crashing, because I feel like I've crashed. Now what? So that was nice. And then even being able to like after that go see one of my friends and just share a level of it, and it's like it feels open and honest and safe and have a good interaction and positive, and Man, Gamli, I love you, man. You always bring me up.
Thank you,
You know,
Gabrielle.
just having people that you feel safe with and feel really loved by. And that's a lot of my friends, and I just so appreciate it's been a whole process over the past 4 years, and I appreciate it so greatly. To anybody, man, people know who they are.
You should probably call it. Well, that's up your issue. Let me leave that alone.
Yeah.
I just love to give people roses individually.
And one day I'm gonna get to that level again of being vulnerable with everybody.
Well, just whoever you thought of. Like today, you thought of Gamliel. So sometimes just give people their shout outs.
Yeah, right. They deserve it.
Yeah.
Let's do one. You want to pull it?
You pull it. Your hand was already in the box.
Oh my God, it's just I'm always pulling these wild cards. Both players write a note to your younger selves. 1 minute. Option to compare. Want to do it?
Yeah.
You need a pen?
Mm-hmm. I was going to write it on my phone.
Oh.
That's okay.
I thought you was putting the timer on.
No? Oh. I guess I can't put a timer on.
1 minute. Let's see what arises.
Do this at home.
Yeah, this is a nice one. This is a really nice one, really.
All right.
All right.
Wow.
Okay. You want me to go first?
You want me to go?
I can go first.
Okay.
I said, Bati, my heart, Mommy, I love you so, so much. More than you could ever know. I look back now and see how you were never alone because I was always here with you. Things work out. Shit can be processed.
Oh, wow. So, wow, she acknowledged herself. I said, I love you for all that you have experienced, and I love you for all that you are and have experienced now. Those were the building blocks for who I am today. I thought it was just a sad experience. Turns out it was my greatest teachers that would, and I was going to continue allow me to teach others today.
Hey.
Wow, that was
nice.
Yeah, always.
That was nice.
All right, let's give a shout out to
the outro?
Yeah, we're giving this to Grammy. Thank you for allowing us to be here as women. To all the women.
To all the women.
All the grandmothers.
All the grandmamas.
All the 4 grandmothers. All the women who have ever paved the way before. We thank you for the presence of women.
Thank you.
And for making safe places for many.
Yep.
And remember to make a safe place for you. And remember that you are the answer to your ancestors' prayers.
Hey.
And you are the prayer to the next generation's answers.
Oh.
One love.
One love. All right, y'all.